Hello, thank you for watching and tuning into Rick Steele Customs. In this particular episode, I'm going to be going over hail damage and collision repair. This car was pelted by hail, as you can probably see. A bunch of little pop marks all down the passenger side. And this hailstorm came in at an angle like this. So I got hail damage all over the roof, all over the hood, all over the top of this passenger fender. There is some on the door, but the door is actually much better because of the angle and the descent of the hail. It was coming straight down basically at a probably a 45-degree angle. You can see this little ding here, that's from hail. The covers busted off the top of the door mirrors because that's old plastic. This is a 2007 Honda Accord. And the quarter panel's got some significant damage up here. On the lower part of the door, you can't really see any. And you can see very little on this section right here. Where it really gets it is on the roof, on the trunk lid. Now, instead of repairing this particular trunk lid, which I normally would, but it's got this dent here, and that's kind of a difficult one to deal with. Time-consuming one to deal with, and frankly I don't want to deal with it. I'd rather spend $43 on a replacement hood that has no hail damage. It's going to be a lot less time-consuming for me to fix this car. Now, if this was a much more expensive car, I mean, I only paid $1,300 for this car. It's a 2007 Accord with 117,000 miles on it. And anyway, this car, when I first looked at it, had no hail damage. But unfortunately, it did get hailed on before I bid on it. That's why I guess you should always go down and look at the car. Do a second inspection the day before the auction to make sure something like this didn't happen. This car was sitting at Copart for well over a year. When I first saw it, it looked great. So I didn't bid that high. I got the car for $1,300, and so now I'm kind of stuck with it. Although when I'm done, it's probably going to be worth, I don't know, close to $5,000, depending on how this UAW strike goes on, and used car prices are going to start going back up again. But I don't expect to make really anything on this car, so maybe I'll just keep the damn thing. But I really like Honda Accords anyway, so I don't know, maybe I'll just let it go and take the loss. This is part of the mirror that I took off. You can see where it was struck by hail right there. The other side, this is the other side. So I went to the junkyard today and I picked up 2 replacement mirrors. Those are in good shape. I picked up a hood, which is in decent shape. It has a little bit of a damage right here and right there. You can probably see it. But that's really easy to fix. This is really easy to fix. A replacement hood, I could have bought a new aftermarket hood. But the aftermarket hood would have cost me about, I don't know, maybe $110 or something like that. This hood cost me $43, but this is OEM. OEM is much, much better than aftermarket body panels, even if they're CAPA certified body panels. So anyway, that's the trunk that I picked up. It's in pretty decent shape. I will have to do a little bit of body work on it. No big deal. And I picked up a little bit of a spoiler for it. Thought that would be cool. They gave me the spoiler for free, so that didn't cost me nothing. The one thing the car has going for it, besides the fact that it's a super reliable Honda Accord with relatively low miles, is it's got four-way disc brakes. Got some pretty good size rotors on it too. And if you're looking for a reliable vehicle that's good on gas, that's relatively inexpensive, you can't go wrong with a Honda Accord. Or even a Civic. The Civics, I don't really like them unless they're an SI. Of course, SIs are all stick shift, so if you don't know how to drive a stick, don't even bother looking at the SI unless you want to learn to drive a stick. And the interior is relatively clean. They did have a dog, because it does have a lot of dog hair on it, a white dog. But after detailing, I mean, you can see it all over the headrest. And it's got the clear coat coming off. I have to go back to the junkyard tomorrow and pick up the seat belts, because when it got impacted in the front, the airbags deployed. I already replaced the passenger dash airbag and the steering wheel airbag. But this car is in excellent condition mechanically. It has no damage to the frame, no damage to the undercarriage. The car fires right up, doesn't smoke. Basically, this is a fender bender. The body shop, I mean the auto insurance company would have repaired this vehicle had the airbags not deployed. Once the airbags deploy, then you're talking a lot more money to repair. And that's why these cars get totaled. But you got to remember, from about 1991 and back, cars didn't have airbags as a rule. Now they all have them. But getting hit by an airbag is like getting hit by Mike Tyson when he was in his prime. So I don't really care for airbags, but I'm replacing them anyway. Actually, the hardest part about airbags is the control module. Because once the control module activates the airbags, you have to remove the control module and either buy another one from the dealer, or remove the control module and then ship it out and have it reprogrammed. Last time I reprogrammed the control module, it only cost $50. But the control module is actually a kind of a bit of a chore to get to, because you have to essentially remove the entire center console because it's back up in here. And yeah, while I was at the junkyard, I picked up another steering wheel. This one is leather. That one is a vinyl or plastic material. I don't like the way they feel in my hand, so I replaced it. But whoever owned the car, other than the dog, they took really good care of it. I mean, once this car is fixed, I wouldn't hesitate to drive it anywhere. Now, if you like Civics, the reason I don't really care for them, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're really good cars, extremely reliable. They do everything right. The only thing I don't like about them is they're gutless. Absolutely gutless. I mean, I like fast cars. I like my SL 500. I like my Corvette. I like my IS 350 Lexus. I like my 2013 Camaro 2SS. But this thing, I'm using it as my daily driver because it's so inexpensive to drive. The gas prices, if they go back down once Trump gets back in, then I'll be getting rid of this thing. But again, it's not because there's something wrong with it. Oh, and by the way, another thing, this car I got from the Copart. I paid $2,500 for it. It's a 2012. The only thing I fixed on it was this grille. I replaced it. It was cracked, and this was dented, so I fixed that. And this was the only damage. Poopy. Anyway, getting back to it. The airbag's deployed on this car. That's why I got it so cheap. I bought this car back in 2019. It's a 2012. But anyway, what you want to look for is you want to look for one of these. That's an SI. So on this particular car, it was totaled because the airbag's deployed. Steering wheel airbag deployed, dash airbag deployed, seat belts deployed. So I replaced the, well actually I just fixed the, I sent out the seat belt to be rebuilt. They rebuilt it for like $50. And if you're interested in doing that, you can look them up on eBay. Just type in seatbelt repair. And this one, I replaced the steering wheel because it had a crappy little plastic steering wheel, so I went with the leather one. That's real leather. And the airbag, I never replaced it. The steering wheel airbag did deploy. What I did was I was able to buy a replacement cover, and then I stuffed it with a washcloth to simulate the airbag to take up the space. But it works great. The only problem is when you drive the car, you have the airbag light on. But one push of the button on the steering wheel and it goes away. But other than that little scrape is what caused the airbag to deploy. Because this is the original bumper, that's the original hood, and this is the only damage it had. I did not replace the headlight. That's the factory headlight. That's the factory headlight. The only thing I replaced is, like I said, the grille. But another thing I don't like about this car, you can see the rotor. Compared to the rotor on the 07 Accord, that's a much smaller rotor. The Accord has 4-way discs. The Civic has this tiny little chicken shit little drum brake. This car doesn't stop as good, anywhere near as good. But in any case, yeah, that's why I don't like the Civics. I do like the SIs. I would buy an SI in a heartbeat. In fact, next time I find one, I'm gonna buy one. But this one I want to get rid of. I mean, like I said, it's a great car, but oh, and another thing, those wheels are off a 2016 Chevrolet Impala. In case you're wondering. And the center caps, what I did is I just took the center cap off the Honda Civic wheel, and I drilled some holes, for the pins in the back of the emblem, and then a little bit of ATV gasket sealer, and I stuck them on. I've only had one guy actually catch it. I went to AutoZone. The guy that manages the store walks up, goes, "Hey, I don't know those wheels from Honda, and I know Honda pretty good. Never seen those before. Are those like custom?" And I told him, no, they're off a 2016 Impala. Amazing how they have the same bolt pattern. But anyway, guys, don't want to ramble on all night. But yeah, so if you're gonna look for a good car over at Copart, this is what you want to find. Minimal damage. You're gonna pay a lot more. Okay. The least amount of damage cars, those are the ones that go for the bigger bucks. But that's what you want, because they're easy to fix, or hell, don't fix them at all. Just drive them. I do have a bumper for this car that I bought, and it's the nicer bumper. It's the one with the fog lights. So before I sell it, and I got the paint and everything, so I'm going to repaint the hood, and I'm going to paint the new bumper and install the fog lights on it. It'll look a lot better. But yeah, what you want to do is you want it. It's better to spend a little bit more than to pay much less for a car that needs a lot more, money spent on it repairing it. Especially if you're gonna take it to a body shop and have them fix it for you. If you don't know how to fix it, this is what you want. I mean, this car, you can drive it all over the place. I've driven it all over the place. I've put probably about 7,000-8,000 miles on it. Have you guys ever tried this? This is great stuff. The only thing about this is it takes about 2 or 3 packs before you actually learn to like it. But once you drink those first packages, when they come in like about 12 of them to a pack, you drink 24 of these and you'll love it. The first one you're gonna think, oh my god, this is the worst shit ever, but this is really good. 0 calories. The only bad thing about it is it's got aspartame. Aspartame is actually an ingredient in embalming fluid. But after you die, you'll be a pretty good looking corpse. Yeah, this one, I picked this one up at Copart also. And I have another video, you can check out my other videos and you'll see this, what it looked like. And you can actually see me as I go through the process of repairing it. But this thing is great. I love this vehicle. It's a 2012 Yukon XL Denali GMC. This vehicle was at the same auction, Copart auction, and it got pelted also on the passenger side by the hail. But that was after it got, I don't think it got T-boned. I think that the guy actually took it off-road because it is an all-wheel drive, or full-time 4-wheel drive. I think they took it off-road, and I think that they wound up getting too far tilted to the right, and I think they hit a pretty good-sized rock. But it tore up the entire rocker panel. It destroyed both doors, destroyed the B-pillar. So I had to replace the entire rocker panel, This is where I bonded it together. Had to cut here, remove this entire section. I had to drill out all the spot welds. And I cut it right here. And then I used a nice big backing plate of 3/8 steel. This is going to be stronger than it was from the factory. I sent the seat belts out because they deployed. And I had those rebuilt at about $50-$60 a piece. I forget what they actually cost. The only bags that deployed on this vehicle were the side curtain airbags. This gap was non-existent. In fact, the edge of the original doors came back about a 1/4 inch right here. And this is where I finished butting it up to the original, and then did my welding, and I did the spot welds. And the spot welds back here. So what I did was I drilled out the spot welds here, and I took the donor vehicle inner structure all the way up to here, and I re-spot welded it just like the factory did. So got my door gaps all lined up perfect with the edge. Perfect gaps. And perfect gaps. But this one was a buy it now for $3,500. And it's got the 6.2 liter Vortec engine. And you can check out my other videos on this one. I did the header install. Those are shorties. I sent them out to be coated, ceramic coated, inside and out by jet hot coatings. I installed new valve cover gaskets, and I installed new of course header gaskets. Those are copper header gaskets. And the only reason I did this is because it was a slight leak on this side at the factory exhaust manifold. You would hear a tap, 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 tap until the engine manifolds expanded sufficiently enough to seal the leak. But I figured, you know what, if you're gonna replace gaskets, why not install headers? You know, always do some kind of an improvement if you're working on it. But yeah, it's fantastic. And the only reason I bought it is because of the grandkids. I have 4 grandkids and the wife, so I needed seating for 7. And now I've got seating for 7. It's got the 3rd row, 3 back there, 2 right here, and 2 up front. And this thing still smells new. But yeah, $3,500, and then I spent, I believe it was like $200 on the 2 doors. I don't think I paid $200 each. I think I can't remember, man. I bought them a while back, actually last year. And then the rocker was really cheap. It was only like $40. So, oh, and I bought the paint. So, for me to fix this vehicle has costed me about $700, I'm guessing. The airbag in the seat, this one here, deployed also. This I got from the junkyard, the same vehicle I got the doors out of. And what I did was I wound up keeping the original bottom, and I just used the back because when the seat airbag deploys, it splits this seam all the way down. The bag comes out. So yeah, the dash airbag didn't blow. The steering airbag did not blow. So, but anyway, I'm all in this vehicle at about $4,200, and I rebuilt the rear airbag suspension on it. That I forgot about that, so make it about $4,400 because that was about $200, and that came with a the new compressor and the new shocks with the new airbags. And I even like the color. Oh, I forgot. I also bought the Escalade lights. So actually I'm closer to $5,000 in this thing. But if you went out to buy one of these right now, a 2012 Yukon Denali XL, you're going to be spending about $13,000. So having $5,000 as opposed to $13,000, that's a really good buy. Really good buy. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. This is Rick Steele Customs, thanking you for watching. And if you like this video, please do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. And if you want to keep track of records whenever I post a video, hit the bell icon. Anyway, Rick Steele Customs out.